Today, students, we will move forward on the application of Gauss law. In the previous class, we have discussed about the first application of Gauss law, that is how to find electric field at any point at some distance from uniform linear charge distribution. Means when charge is distributed uniformly over a line, what will be the electric field at distance r or a. Today we will discuss the second application of Gauss law, that is charge is distributed uniformly over a sheet of paper, that is over a area. Sheet of paper means over a area. Suppose the area is a, and we have to find electric field at a given distance, say r, from the uniform charge distribution. For example, suppose this is sheet of paper having any area, suppose A, and charge is distributed uniformly over it. It is given that charge present in unit area is sigma, that is sigma is area charge distribution. Area charge density. Now it is given that suppose this sheet of paper having any area, we are not considering about that, but the charge present in unit area is sigma. Now it is asked at distance r from this side or at distance r from this side, what will be the electric field. So as we discussed, if we have to find the electric field, first we have to draw Gaussian surface. Now student, you can understand that to draw the Gaussian surface means to enclose some charge. To enclose some charge, we have to draw closed surface. So suppose we are drawing any closed surface. Suppose this is the surface and this is a, we have to close it. This is the surface enclosing some charge and we have to close it, so we have to draw a closed surface. So you can see now the charge in this, actually it is three-dimensional figure, so you have to understand by the imagination that this is actually, you have to suppose this is the sheet of paper and charge is distributed and this is the area, you have to enclose this one, then you have to enclose like this. Similarly in this side also. So to enclose this charge, you can draw cylindrical surface also, cuboid surface also, because all the charge will be at same distance from this area, and in this area also all the charge will be same distance. So it doesn't matter whether you are taking cylindrical surface or any cubical surface or cube surface, that all the three surface will enclose this charge. Now it is given that charge is distributed on the both side of the sheet. So in one side, suppose in one side it is covering, so you have to you are enclosing by this area, and this circular part suppose has area A, and in the next side also, if you have to cover, if you have to close it, then you have to draw this surface. So this has also suppose area A. Why we are drawing the closed surface? Already we have discussed in Gauss law that we have to solve this integral E dot ds. closed integral, that is equal to q enclosed by epsilon naught. We have to solve this integral to find the electric field. For solving this integral, we must have closed surface. Closed surface, in this closed surface you have to enclose any amount of charge. It is not necessary to you have to enclose the whole charge that is distributed over the sheet. Any amount of charge. It is given in sigma. Sigma is the area charge density, means in unit area the charge present is sigma. So if this area is A, already we are seeing this area is A. So in area A, what is the charge enclosed? Sigma into A. So this charge which we have enclosed is equal to sigma into A. This is equation 1, this is equation 2. Now second thing we have discussed in Gauss law, that we have to draw that symmetrical closed surface in which the electric field and the area element either are in same direction or 90 degree. You can see, we will check it. This charge, draw the electric field lines due to this charge, and in the opposite side of the paper where charge is distributed, the electric field lines will be like this. So electric field lines give the direction of electric field. Now this is the area. If you draw the perpendicular, that is area vector, you can see what is the direction of electric field at area vector. Here 0. In this surface, electric field, this is the electric field direction, this is the area vector direction. What is the angle? 0. Now this curved surface, this is the curved surface which is enclosing the charge. So what is the angle between electric field and area vector? If you draw normal on the curved surface, it will be like this. And what is the direction of electric field? This. What is the angle? 90 degree. So you can see in all over, when we are checking what is the direction of electric field and the area vector throughout the closed Gaussian surface, we see that in this surface S1, the angle between electric field and area vector is 0. In this surface S2, the angle between area vector and electric field is 0. And in this third surface, curved surface, the angle is 90 degree. Third we have discussed that when we are drawing the Gaussian surface, electric field, when electric field and the area vector is making 0, the magnitude of electric field must be same. Means in this cross section area where the electric field and area vector are in same direction, you can see due to all charge, the magnitude will be same because they are at same distance. So if any unit charge, if any point charge is there, so the electric field on this surface due to all the charges is same. Similarly, electric field on this surface due to all the charge will be same because the distance is same. Now we will start to solve the integration. Now this closed surface can be divided into first surface, second surface and third surface, and this is equal to Q enclosed we have already written, so I am writing directly sigma A by epsilon naught. Now for the first surface, what is the angle? 0 degree, so it will be EDS cos 0. For the second surface also, what is the angle? 0, EDS cos 0. And for third, what is the angle? E and DS, 90 degree. Now this will be 0, this 2, EDS cos 0, EDS cos 0. If you will add, you will get 2 EDS cos 0. Or here electric field is constant, you can take it out, DS for a surface 1. Here also electric field is same for due to all the charge, so constant, and that is sigma A by epsilon naught. This we have taken small area here ds. If you will integrate, if you are dividing the whole area into ds element, and if you are taking small area ds, and if you will integrate, add up, then due to all this the total area summation is A. Here also you are taking E into ds, this is the small area element ds. If you will integrate or sum it, you will get the total area, that is A. So E into A, E into A, here also E into A, sigma A by epsilon naught. So 2A is sigma A by epsilon naught, A cancel out, so E is equal to sigma by 2 epsilon naught. This is the electric field due to uniform charge distribution over a sheet of paper, means having some considerable thickness. If charge is distributed over the plate of capacitor also, then also you have to apply the same formula. But in different cases, when it is given charge is distributed over a sheet of paper whose thickness is negligible, means the charge is not on the surface, charge is between the two surfaces, embedded inside the surface. So when thickness is very small or less, thickness is very less, so in that case this charge, in the previous case we have considered charge is present in the front face also and in the back face also. But if this thickness of paper is very small, the charge will be inside the surface, and that charge which is inside the surface will produce the electric field in both direction, and in that case you have to take only one area. So in that case, what will be the formula? E is equal to sigma by epsilon naught. This you have to take in, but generally we discuss in the problem this case. Now suppose we have two distribution of charge. It is given that one sheet of paper or any plate is there and charge is distributed uniformly. Suppose plus charge I am taking, and second plate or paper is there in which also charge is distributed uniformly. This has charge density, areal charge density, that is sigma 1, and this has areal charge density, suppose sigma 2. Now question is asked, what is the electric field at point A, at point B, at point C. I am giving you example for positive charge. For positive negative, for negative you have to solve with yourself. I will give the idea how to solve. Now listen student, how to solve this question. Suppose I am taking some imaginary line passing through this, and I suppose that the left side is taken as negative side and the right side is taken as positive side. Here I am taking suppose the origin, and the distance measured to the left side is taken negative and right side taken as positive. In right side I am taking unit vector r cap, and of course in the left side it will be minus r cap. Now at point A, due to this sheet, what is the formula? Sigma by 2 epsilon naught. So what is sigma here? Sigma 1 by 2 epsilon naught. So at point A, due to this sigma 1 by 2 epsilon naught, this is the magnitude. Direction, we are measuring direction in the left side. So what unit vector we have to write minus r cap plus due to sigma 2, what is the magnitude? Sigma 2 by 2 epsilon naught, and we are measuring this point is left side, so we have to take minus r cap. So this is the total electric field. So if you are taking minus r cap minus common, so it will be sigma 1 by 2 epsilon naught plus sigma 2 by 2 epsilon naught into r cap. Now at point B, due to this one you can see the electric field will be in this direction. So we are measuring the electric field in this direction. So formula, due to this one, what is the magnitude? Sigma 1 by 2 epsilon naught. Now this is toward the right side, so it will be plus r cap. Due to this one, electric field will be of course in this side, means we are measuring in the left side, so it will be magnitude will be sigma 2 by 2 epsilon naught and direction is minus r cap. So if you are taking common r cap, then sigma 1 by 2 epsilon naught minus sigma 2 by 2 epsilon naught into r cap. Similarly, at point A we have taken, point B, at point C. Due to this one, this is the direction of electric field. Due to this one, this is the direction of electric field. Clear? Because at this point the charge present on the right side will only contribute. At this point the charge present in the right side only will contribute. Okay. So the net electric field will be, due to first one, sigma 1 by 2 epsilon naught, of course r cap positive because it is in right side. Second, sigma 2 by 2 epsilon naught, right side, it is also right side, so it will be positive. So it will be sigma 1 plus sigma 2 by 2 epsilon naught r cap. So in this way you have to derive the formula, or you have to solve the numerical related to the electric field between two uniformly charged sheet of paper. Now the same question can be asked in different way. Suppose it is given in this positive charge is there, but in this negative charge is there. So how will you able to solve? I am giving you only the hint because we have not so much time to deal all the things. See, only the concept I am giving. Suppose this is positive charge, positive, and this is negatively charged, negative. So at this point, what is the direction due to this one? In this sheet, left side will only contribute, and that is plus, so it will produce in this direction. This will produce in this direction. So if it is sigma 1, it has minus, or if it has sigma 2. So here you can see sigma 1 is negative, sigma by 2 epsilon naught minus r cap, but sigma 2, due to sigma 2 it is in the right side, so sigma 2 by 2 epsilon naught plus r cap. In this way you have to solve. At this point, plus will contribute in this direction, minus will contribute in this direction, so both will be positive. At this point, plus will in this direction, minus will be in this direction, so this r vector is positive for this and unit r vector is negative for minus. So in this way you have to solve the question. Now we will move to third application of Gauss law. Third application that is that charge is distributed uniformly over the surface. Uniformly over the surface means, suppose you are giving some plus charge and again giving plus charge, this will repel and it will automatically come at the surface. So when you are giving charges inside a hollow sphere, then charge will distribute over the surface, and if it is distributed uniformly, then how will you find the electric field at some distance r from the center? Suppose this is the center O, and it is asked to find electric field at point P. In second case, P point is at here, and in third case, suppose the P point is inside the sphere. Now remember, student, that when it is asked that charge is distributed over a cell, means hollow sphere, it means charge is distributed uniformly over the surface. So you have to take surface charge density or area charge density. Suppose sigma is given surface charge density. Surface charge density. Now, if this sphere has radius r, this has radius r, what is the surface area of the sphere? Surface area of sphere is 4 pi r square. So if sigma is the surface charge density, means in unit charge, in unit area charge is sigma. So in this total area, what will be the charge? Charge is surface density into total area. This is equation 1. Sigma is total charge present on the surface divided by total surface area. So what will be the charge on the surface? Sigma into 4 pi r square. Now suppose you have to find electric field at P. To find electric field at distance r, where this r distance is greater than radius, means this is suppose r. So what is the first point? That you have to draw the Gaussian surface through the point of observation, through the point where we have to find. Now what is the nature of the Gaussian surface? Means you have to enclose all this charge. This charge is distributed over a sphere, means 3-dimensional, you have to imagine. Means small ball. You to enclose the small ball from all the side, what you have to do? You have to take a bigger ball and put it inside it. So if I am drawing this bigger Gaussian surface area, you can see this must be symmetric. This distance must be same from all direction. So we have drawn one small sphere is there, and we have drawn Gaussian surface like this. This is the point P at distance r. This is distance r, and this is the radius r. Now you can see this is the charge distribution at all the point, the electric field and the area vector. You can see, suppose this is the small area vector, perpendicular is in this direction, and due to this charge present here, electric field is also in this direction. This is the small area, perpendicular, and due to this the electric field. So in everywhere on the Gaussian surface you will see that the area vector and electric field is in the same direction. And second, all the charge are at same distance from the Gaussian surface, so the magnitude of electric field on this surface due to this charge will be also same, because E is equal to K Q by R square. Due to this charge, this distance R. Due to this charge, this distance is also R. Clear? So all the Gaussian surface will have same, the charge has same distance from the Gaussian surface, so electric field is same. So all the things we have discussed. Now we will solve the integral to get the value of electric field. E dot ds is equal to Q enclosed by epsilon naught. This is the charge distribution. What is the total charge? Sigma into this. So Q enclosed is sigma into this one. Now what is the vector product, what is the angle between E and ds at every point? 0 degree. So you can write E ds cos 0 is equal to sigma, value of q is sigma into 4 pi r square by epsilon naught. I think all of you have understood that throughout the Gaussian surface, value of electric field due to this charge is same. So it can be taken out. Same means constant. So it can be taken out. ds is equal to sigma into 4 pi r square by epsilon naught. What is ds? ds, this area you have to take the area of the Gaussian surface. So this Gaussian surface area, this surface area is 4 pi r square. Here you can see the radius of this Gaussian surface we have taken as small r. So area of this Gaussian sphere will be 4 pi r square. So 4 pi cancel out. So E is equal to sigma r square by epsilon naught into r square. Now this is the one way to write. I have to write in another way also, because we are going to conclude one important concept from it. Suppose I am not changing this q enclosed into this one, then from this E into 4 pi r square, in place of sigma into 4 pi r square I am writing again q, and this is epsilon naught. So E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, I am writing first, then q, and then r square. So important result we are getting from this, that electric field at distance r, means from the center, the distance of Gaussian surface is r. So electric field is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r, means if the whole charge q which is distributed on the surface, if it is supposed to shift at point at the center of the sphere, then that will be considered as point charge. You can see this is the formula for electric field due to point charge q. So it means that the whole charge which is distributed on the sphere is supposed to be concentrated at the center. Suppose q is shift here, then at any point which is outside from this sphere, electric field will be same as due to point charge. This is the important result. So I am writing here the charge distributed uniformly over sphere considered as whole charge concentrate on the center and act as a point charge. Means the electric field at any point outside a uniformly charged sphere is same as the electric field due to the whole charge concentrated at the center of sphere and it act as a point charge. मतलब कि अगर पूरा चार्ज उस सेंटर में कंसंट्रेट कर गया हो तो उसको पॉइंट चार्ज कंसिडर करते हुए एक पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट पे जो इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड का फॉर्मूला होता है वो पूरे स्फीयर के कारण भी इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड का फॉर्मूला वही होगा. ओके, नाउ इफ दिस आर if this point is on the sphere, next two case we have to discuss. first the point was outside the sphere, now the point P is on the sphere. So you have to draw a very close Gaussian surface which is very close to, which is just enclosing the sphere. This is distance r. So in this case, E dot ds q by epsilon naught. So E is constant throughout the Gaussian surface, and this Gaussian surface is very close to the surface, so that distance is also considered as r. So this E is constant. First the angle is 0, so you can write here E ds cos 0 q enclosed by epsilon naught. Now E ds cos 0, E ds is q enclosed by epsilon naught. So E is constant, it can be taken out. So E ds, what is the area of the Gaussian surface? 4 pi r square, and we have written in the very first that q enclosed is also sigma into 4 pi r square. So 4 pi r square cancel. So E is equal to sigma by epsilon naught. On the sphere, the electric field is sigma by epsilon naught. Now third case, case 3. If charge is distributed uniformly over the sphere, and in question it is given any point P is inside the sphere. So what will be the electric field? You draw the Gaussian surface through that point, and this is the Gaussian surface. You can see there is no charge inside the Gaussian surface. Means if no charge is enclosed inside the Gaussian surface, what will be E dot ds q enclosed by epsilon naught. No charge is enclosing, so this will be 0. Clear? So electric field will be 0. This is a very important result, that electric field inside a uniformly charged sphere inside any point is 0. So you can see, if you are drawing the graph for this, how the electric field vary with distance. This is suppose the distance, and this is the electric field. Now up to the distance radius, what is the electric field? You can see inside the sphere, up to the radius, what is the electric field? That is point inside the sphere, 0. So you have to draw like this, up to the radius 0, and at the radius, what is the electric field maximum? How much? Sigma by epsilon naught. You can write this, this is sigma by epsilon naught. After that, the electric field is like a point charge, that is inversely proportional to r square. So its graph will be like this. So this is the graph for variation of electric field with distance r. That's all in the application of Gauss law. Try to solve problems, and if you have any problems in application of Gauss law, you can ask question related to it. In the next class, we will try to discuss some problems related to Gauss law, that is very important for your exam also, and on the application of Gauss law. Thank you.